My followers, how are you all? Good afternoon, good evening, possibly good morning. All depends on where you are in the world. Welcome back to another live stream. Do let me know if you can hear me clearly in the comment section. Although I'm going to be checking my monitor to the left of me to make sure that everything is working in as it should be, working according to plan. Let me know how you guys are doing there in the comment section. I can see someone in the chat that your first Rudo door, Jay Hyman. Good day to yourself. You're saying I'm doing all things Jamaica on my channel. Yeah, you're going to have to give us a little bit more, add a bit of meat to the bone of what you've just said there. Sounds quite vague. What does that mean? What's your field? Let us know in the comment section. So, guys, let me know how you guys are doing. Also, let me know if my background is giving you guys any problems because it is pretty loud my end. So do let me know if anything is creeping through and disturbing you guys. I don't know about you guys, but I am somewhat still in disbelief. Now, if I'm saying I'm in disbelief, obviously it could mean I'm only referring to one. You know, it only means I am referring to the Reggae Boys. I'm still in disbelief, guys. I still cannot believe that we didn't qualify for this summer's biggest party in sports, the FIFA Men's World Cup, in total disbelief. To the point where it's even like I'm even having dreams about the fact that we're not going to the World Cup, in the sense that I'm dreaming that we have another game to play, which obviously isn't possible because the last game would have been DR Congo. But I'm having dreams that we still have one more game to play. Like that's how much is completely like disturbed my sleeping pattern and to an extent my personal life as well. But hopefully hasn't managed to disturb you guys' life personally or whatever that might be. Hopefully you guys are doing better than myself. But yes, still haven't gotten over the fact that we lost to Congo. Not because I don't think we Congo deserve to, not because I think that we deserve to beat them. I don't think we deserve to beat them, which I've already echoed on my channel a number of times since that defeat. But still, it just feels like we were so close yet so far, as the saying goes. And I think what's really bothered me over the last string of days since the subsequent reality check once more is the fact that I'm looking elsewhere where football is concerned with, let's say, more economically developed nations and also the lower economically developed nations. So some big hitters and also some relatively football nations there that's growing into the whatever it is they're trying to achieve where football is concerned. Obviously, they're not known to be football powerhouse, but they are definitely showing signs of ambitions, which we're not showing where Jamaica is concerned. We're not showing that. So we're going to get into that in a few. And yes, I have seen you guys' message talking about the Reggae Girls upcoming match, which we're also going to be talking about. Finally, getting around to talking about the Reggae Girls. They've got their match coming up against Antigua and Barbuda. If you guys are on home soil, hopefully you guys will be making your way to the national stadium. If not, I'm not really sure what to tell you. I mean, you know how the saying goes, if you can support the men's team, then surely you can also support the women's team. But I get it, to each their own. But again, if you can support the men's team, surely you can also support the women's team. Safe to say that one doesn't disappoint where the football is concerned and getting the necessary results, whereas the other has a growing reputation and habit of never doing what is required of them. Right. So how we're gonna start this one? I'm gonna go and dive into a interview, which I'm pretty sure you guys have already seen this one running the space as it should be. I'm hoping that we'll get a follow-up interview. Not really sure if we will, but I'm hoping that we will get a follow-up interview with the landlord himself and also a interview there from some years back with the president, the current president of the Jamaica Football Federation, Mr. Michael Ricketts. I'm sure you guys would have seen this one. If you haven't caught up with this particular interview, maybe you're sleeping under a rock. I don't know. Maybe you live under a rock. Or I forget my manners. Congrats to Mr. Jackson on surpassing just over 60K subs. Long may the growth continue. So really deserve your 60K subs and definitely looking down the barrel for 100K subs. So hopefully you get that in no time. I'm hoping that we're not going to be having no technical difficulties tonight, guys, because you know how it was on the last live stream. We had so much technical difficulties. So what we're going to do is stick a little pin in it and listen to that interview there with the landlord and also the president, Mr. Michael Ricketts. I don't know if he's a man of his words or not. Maybe you guys can catch me, bring me up to speed. I don't know what's going on with the Reggae Boyz and Michael Ricketts. I can only assume based on an article that I read some days ago. I trust that not much has changed. So let me just pause myself for a little short while and we can go ahead and listen to that interview there with the landlord himself, Mr. Jackson, and Mr. Michael Ricketts. If you guys are having some trouble listening or hearing the interview, do let me know in the comments. I'll do some tweaks my end. Okay, so let me go ahead and bring that one up and then we'll continue with the rest of the show. See if I can maximize that one there for you guys.
When 2026 comes.
26, you know, President. If we not qualify, you have to go resign, you know.
Yeah, me have to go run away.
You have to go run away. You have to resign. You get me?
I am Liam Bailey, and you are watching Elite Sports TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Hey guys, Bunny Shaw here with Elite Sports TV. Make sure you like and subscribe and always tune in.
We'll reach the promised land when 2026 comes.
26, you know, President. If we not qualify, you have to go resign, you know.
Yeah, me have to go run away.
You have to go run away. You have to resign. Going forward for 2026. What's the JFF vision? What's in the plan?
We really want to qualify. It would be a travesty if we should not qualify for 2026. And that is why we were very, 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 very strident in ensuring that we get a good coach with a good support staff. So we start the process from now. So once we missed out on Qatar in 2022, we decided that we're going to put plans in place and be very serious. And like I said, be very, very strident heading to 2026. This is going to be in our region. It is probably one of the easier route getting to the World Cup. We just have to ensure that we give it our best shot. But we're going to work on it. Once the coach comes in, we're going to work closely with him. Speed, like I said, would be his responsibility to ensure that the technical staff does a good job, and the end result must be that we qualify for 2026.
Yeah, the last coach Theodore Whitmore, he in his contract he's supposed to do a lot of workshop. Whitmore did it 2 times and everything done. We can't afford Al Grimsey having so much knowledge, leave Jamaica, and a lot of the coach him don't learn nothing from Al Grimsey.
No.
So we'll make sure that the workshop has been done.
Ryan, in fact, we have had these discussions with him, and he was very humble in his approach, that he wants to ensure that he not just qualify for the World Cup, but he leaves a legacy here. And he immediately wants to meet with all the coaches in the Premier League, want to meet with all the local players regularly, have sessions with the local players, have camps with the local players. And certainly if you listen to him, you would understand and appreciate that he does have a vision. So we just want to ensure that we're in a position to give him as much support. And like I've said, I believe in God. So many things are falling in place. We have a new coach, we have a new general secretary, we have a new sponsor, we have new staff members. And so far, we are charting a path forward that we will reach the promised land when 2026 comes.
26, you know, President. If we not qualify, you have to go resign, you know.
Yeah, me have to go run away.
You have to go run away. You have to resign. You get me? Because there's no way you're supposed to qualify.
Mark you. It is never the sole responsibility, and I don't think it has happened, that a president walk away because a team doesn't qualify. But I'm prepared to do that if they don't qualify in 2026.
No, you're not supposed to prepare. You're supposed to pack your bag. Just like how me I watch Belgium. Belgium didn't make it out of the group. Mexico didn't. The coach them not even go back to Belgium, not even go back to Mexico with the team. Them dugga. So
Yeah,
if you don't qualify, you need to make sure that you pack up your bag from early and exit.
right. Yeah, but I was but you know, me don't even want a bag, you know, because me so sure so we're going to qualify. And not even a bag. We won't even have
President said
we're going to give it the best shot, right? I'm sure.
Would you say our biggest problem right now in Jamaica is it what I call it, the administration?
No, man, it can't be.
Yes, man. I think mess up a whole heap.
It can't be. Tell me the things that we mess up. The only major problem that this administration had was traveling. That's the only problem. We messed up a lot of time. We have made some changes. And it was simply because a lack of funds. Tell me the major issues that we have.
The way name there is very bad, man. The players, the flight many times. See, come on.
That's what I'm gonna tell you. That's what I'm gonna tell you. So that would have been probably our biggest bugbear, flight arrangements. We would like to travel first class every time, but we can't afford it.
Yeah.
I mean, US can afford to travel first class every time. We can't.
So
we chartered a number of flights during the World Cup campaign. Chartering aircraft is not a cheap exercise, but we tried it because we really wanted the players to be comfortable. If we could afford it, Ryan, we wouldn't have those issues. We'd have charter flights everywhere we're going.
What about
during COVID? We had a lot of challenges.
We never reach out to a air flight company to sponsor the team like we're
every
back.
Time we try, they said they are having challenges because they are just now recovering. But they were having as many challenges as any corporate entity because business were bad. Right now, we're talking to a growing airline, which hopefully will respond positively. But that would have been probably a major bugbear over the years.
Okay, fair enough. So back to the 2026 vision now. See you guys hiring a lot of new people. We have a new marketing. We have a new GenSec. What more the people can expect from the Football Federation with new administration? Because I think that's one of our biggest weakness. Manage.
Well, we have some very strong and competent people on board now, and we would have made some changes that we think ought to be very positive, and we are seeing such signs already. The coach is very strong, very tough mentally, but at the same time, he understands how to deal with players, how to deal with staff. The General Secretary has done an excellent job the few weeks that he's been here. I mean, today, for example, we spoke certainly not less than 6 times because we're just trying to get things organized and get things sorted out. So we have also engaged a new marketing committee with a chairperson that is intent on getting things right. So we have also been working on a relationship with our parent organization, with FIFA. And they were a little bit unhappy, to say the least, again, because of our operation side. We have done a number of things that they are now very, very happy with.
Yeah, but what are some of the things they wasn't happy with you guys?
The whole management of the finance department. They were unhappy with how we responded to mails, that we were not timely in our preparation of budget. They were very dissatisfied and unhappy with certain things. Chong came on board, Chong being an accountant. I mean, the first meeting I had with the finance department, and when Chong made his presentation, the response was that President, you do have a good general secretary because he's good with numbers, he's good with figures, and we are very, very optimistic and very expectant that corrective measures will be put in place to ensure that we get things back on track. And FIFA, as it is now, are comfortable based on utterances that they would have made, documents that they would have sent, that we are on a correct path and we are in revival mode. We want to ensure that.
Right,
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Revival, yeah, man. Jump up and get ready and get things right and do things properly. Yeah, man. So we are very, very intent, Ryan, on getting things right. We understand football. And I challenged the constabulary to do an audit during the period of the World Cup from November 20 to December 18 and compare the same period anytime you want to. And I guarantee you that our homicide and our robbery and our rape numbers will be less. That is the impact that football can have on this nation. And this JFF is intent on impacting the lives of every little boy and every little girl.
Yeah. All right, viewers, smash the like button. Tennessee, big up yourself. Really do appreciate all of you guys. We have almost 400 of you guys in the building. Let us see the like button, man. President, you think the people them know them for like, share, and subscribe?
Yeah, man. What do you mean, man?
All right. People, like, share, and subscribe. So, President, what are your guys' plan? Because FIFA giving you guys money. Adidas guys give you guys a lot of money. What are your guys' plan to get more sponsor to corporate Jamaica come on board to support
Ryan, we have 12 national teams to take care of. 12. So we're always going to be in need of financial support. Like I've said, we have brought on a new marketing team with a brand new chairperson, Mr. Chris Daring. I think he went to the World Cup. He's back now. We'll have a meeting shortly. So when January comes in and we have a brand new marketing team, we have a brand new sponsor, we have a brand new coaching staff, we have a relatively new general secretary with new staff members rearing to go. I just want to ensure the public and ensure your listeners that it will not be business as usual. We must reach out in the communities. We must get football at a premium. And once we get the support of government, once we get the support of corporate Jamaica, once we get the support of our marketing people and our new sponsor, then the sky is the limit, I can assure you.
Yeah. But Prezi, would you say, because really and truly, the Reggae Boys senior team take a lot of money. We don't spend a lot of money on the youth team them because we don't have the youth team them in a camp and all of them stuff there. And the coach, most of the time, the under 17 coach, them depend on a part-time job. So it's supposed to be more easier for you guys. So when me hear more time, me hear you talk in an interview, I say you have 12 or 11 team to take care of. We playing a whole practice game and all of them.
No, but if you last year I asked the team manager to tell me how many times the senior team traveled. And 17 times in 1 year.
I just have to laugh. I'm sorry, I just have to laugh. If you want to watch that interview once more, you can go ahead and watch it on Elite Sports TV. My monitor in front of me is just falling over. You can go ahead and watch that again over on Elite Sports TV. Hopefully, we will get a follow-up, because I think that interview definitely deserves a follow-up. I was trying to make some note as the president was speaking and responding to the questions they put to him by Mr. Jackson. And one of the things that piqued my interest, I believe, unless my ears are fooling me, he said words to the effect of, he doesn't think a president has walked away post failing to qualify for a World Cup. And I just thought to myself, how shameless, like, with the greatest of respect to him. One thing I will say that I pretty much have to judge him on two fronts there. as a person, I don't know him on a personal level, but having encountered him before in person, he seems like a all right guy. But I will say one of the best quotes ever delivered by the man himself, deluded Guna, nice guys finish last. And I kind of feel like that's his issue. That's one of his biggest problems. It's just like you're playing too nice. You're trying to be friends with everyone. And I think that's one of the reasons why why we are in the position that we're in, where we're once again failing to qualify for yet another World Cup. Obviously, we know that the last time that the men's team qualified for a FIFA Men's World Cup was all the way back in 1998. That's almost 3 decades ago. And a matter of fact, by the time 2030 come around, it will be 3 decades since we last qualified for a FIFA Men's World Cup, which again, I've not gotten over it. I think it should be expected that we're not going to qualify for a World Cup but when this has been by far the easiest pathway to a FIFA Men's World Cup in the history of FIFA Men's World Cup qualification, I'm still just left feeling like, oh my God, how did we manage to mess that one up? But in true Jamaica Football Federation fashion, we found a way to just cut things up. And that's exactly what we went ahead and done. I see you guys there in the comment section. Good day to all of you. Hope you guys are all in good health. If you haven't hit the like button, do remember to go ahead and hit the like button. So Money Pro says they're not giving Ryan no interview no time soon. And this is where I have to get out the belts, because anyone can get the belts. Anyone can get the belt. The belt don't discriminate. So we have to give Mr. Jackson belt to us. We really have to give him some belt to us, right? And we don't care about how he feels about that, because you've gotten a bit too complacent there, my friend. You're getting a little bit too complacent. I'm really happy that you're in the driving seat, obviously the most influential, and you thoroughly deserve to be in that position. You deserve to be the #1 YouTuber within our space, but you're too complacent. The old Mr. Jackson from yesteryear just bursting in onto the scene. We would have had a follow-up interview by now. By hook or crook, by force or not, we would have had a follow-up interview by now. That is by far one of the best interviews that the president has ever done, whether that's the traditional media or most certainly new media. And I do think that it definitely deserves a follow-up interview, because there's so many things there that when you try to connect the dots aren't connecting. He's definitely gone ahead and surprise, or to no surprise, contradicted himself, even with the fallout of, like I said, again, failing to qualify for another FIFA Men's World Cup. We did an interview with the Jamaica Observer some days ago, maybe a week ago, literally post failing to qualify for the World Cup, where he pretty much said, like in bold, that he won't resign. And that is a massive contradiction, because when he did the interview over on Elite Sports TV, again, he said words to the effect that he would walk away if we failed to qualify for the World Cup. I don't know if that was him just being completely shameless or just overdosed on confidence, because how could you not qualify for this summer's FIFA Men's World Cup when 3 of the big hitters, the USA, Mexico, and Canada, already guaranteed automatic qualification because obviously they are the host nation? How the hell do you squander that? You have to be the Jamaica Football Federation, the Reggae Boys, because the Reggae Boys themselves, they also deserve belt to us as well. I've already addressed that issue with them. I'm hoping that we won't see some of these boys that just don't have the heart and the courage to get over the line, a bit like what you see from the Reggae Girlz. So I do definitely think that that interview 100% deserves a follow-up, so that we can ask the president, well, not me, Mr. Jackson, that is, ask him what's going on here. You said one thing, now you said one thing over on his channel where you clearly said that you would walk away if we do not qualify for the World Cup. But then when you're speaking to traditional media some years later, where it has come to fruition that once again, we're not going to be qualifying for a World Cup, you're now saying that you're not moving. It's completely shameless. And not only is it shameless, it's a complete spit in the face to the fans. It's a complete spit in the face to the fans, because I feel like the fans, the 12th man, us, whether you want to throw new media into that or not, or don't get the respect that we deserve. And that is both from the Jamaica Football Federation or the players. The players, most certainly not all of them, but they don't have the heart that the fan base has. The heart just isn't there. And again, I will say that is not a xenophobia. As soon as people say that the heart isn't there, people just assume that is a diaspora issue. That's not a diaspora issue. I'm not being funny, but every single time we hear about players partying and taking the piss, it's always Jamaican born players. I don't hear it coming from the guys born in the diaspora. So again, when I say that players don't have the heart, that is nothing to do with xenophobia. I'm not on side with you with that, because I know there's a lot of people out there that beats the drum where xenophobia is concerned. Me and you are not singing from the same hymn sheet. Let's make that abundantly clear that we are not on the same page in that regard. So going back to the president again, I do think that that interview there deserves a follow-up interview from the man himself. And yes, I understand. I saw a comment in the comment section saying that they won't give him an interview. I know Ryan well enough to know that if he wants an interview, he can get an interview. Now, if he's not giving us that interview, that's because he doesn't want to give us that interview. The greatest of respect to him. So again, that interview definitely deserves a follow-up, and hopefully in due course we'll go ahead and get the follow-up, because we need to know where we stand with this. I don't think he's going to be resigning. He said it himself again when he did the interview with the Jamaica, I believe it was the Observer, where it says that he will not resign. And as I said, that's completely shameless, because when you look elsewhere, people are stepping down. When you look at other federations, and those are other federations there that are more economically developed than us, and they have a footballing culture. They had a rich in football history, and they have stepped aside, whereas we're just kind of looking from side to side, wondering what's going on, wondering where what the future lies for the 2020-30 cycle and so on. And it's crazy to think that they don't realize just how much they are just, maybe they do realize, maybe it's about us not realizing as fans just how much we're being robbed blind, and just how much these guys are taking the piss out of us. And my heart definitely goes out for the people there who went to the games. It's one thing us being sat at home and watching from a distance. Is completely a different experience when you're going out there, spending your hard-earned money on tickets, taking your families to the game. There's so many people that went to that game against Curacao. Not similar numbers to the game against DR Congo, but definitely on home soil against Curacao. You guys saw the pictures for yourself. Stadium completely rammed, sold out to capacity. So many parents there, whether it's daddy's trying to have a father and son moment, or daddy's trying to have a father and daughter moment, mommy trying to have a mommy and son moment, mommy and daughter moment, and they were completely robbed. They were completely robbed, that they didn't get that family moment that they wanted. They didn't get that family moment that they wanted. Whereas the players, and not all, but some of these players, they had the wrong agenda on their mind. They're concerned about going out there and partying. They're concerned about going out there and partying, doing everything but putting their body on the line and making sure that we get over the line. And so we're being robbed left, right, and center. And as I said, as fan base, when it comes to match day, one thing people can't deny, especially where the Reggae Boys are concerned, perhaps not so much where the Reggae Girls are concerned. Hopefully that will change. But where the Reggae Boys are concerned, the fans definitely show up, rain or shine, win, lose, or draw. Even when we know the odds are stacked against us, the fans show up time and time again. But these boys don't show up for us. And I'm hoping and praying to God that I won't see some of them for the next cycle. I'm not sure what's going to happen in the friendlies to come. We've got a few friendlies in the pipeline, a few fixtures in the pipeline. So we're probably going to see same old faces again, getting ready to disappoint us. Not that I care about friendlies, but for me, friendlies, you should be using that to build towards something. The friendlies should be used as the building block towards what's to come, where the Nations League and Gold Cup qualifiers are concerned. But I don't think we're going to be doing that. I think we're going to be sticking by our gun. It looks as if, based on what the JFF have put out in terms of sticking to local recruitment of coaches, that they're just lining up the reappointments of Mr. Rudolph Speed. And with that, it seems like he definitely isn't going nowhere, and neither is some of these players. So I'm not really sure what to tell you guys, but one thing I will criticize us where the fan base is concerned is that we just don't know our value. And one of the questions I really had to ask myself when I was putting this stream together is like, do we deserve this? Like, do we deserve to be slapped in the face time and time again? Do we deserve the disappointment? And I would say arguably yes. Arguably, yes, because I think as a fan base, one of the craziest thing that I have observed and analyzes us is that we just don't know our worth, which is that mind blowing. Like we don't know the power that we have as the 12th man, or to an extent as new media, but most certainly where the 12th man is concerned, we've got so much power, and we don't really work with the power that's at our disposal. I don't know if that's a cultural thing. I think part of it is down to our culture and the way we view ourselves. I think when it comes to probably club football, we do things different. When it comes to club football, the passion and the drive is there. But when it comes to the country, that's one of the things I can criticize all of us on, is that we're just not moving the needle in the way that we should, where the 12th man is concerned, you know. And again, I put that down to maybe it's just a cultural thing, whether that's us living in the diaspora, and also people living in Jamaica as well. Like we're very quick to settle for less. Just culturally, we love to settle for less. And you see that in everything that we do, or a lot of things that we do, especially where poor service or little to no customer service is concerned. Definitely when you go back home, one of the things that really piss me off is just the state of customer service. And I'm always like taken aback just how relaxed people in Jamaica are when it comes to customer service, like poor customer service, and they're just so accepting of it. And I kind of see the same where our national team is concerned. We're definitely playing a role in insanity here, because we don't know our worth and we don't know the value that we bring to the table as the 12th man. So we're just like, we at the end of the day, people need to realize we are the 12th man and we are the consumers. But not a lot of people have either bought into that, realized that, and are willing to take action with regards to what needs to be done to make sure that football heads in the right direction. Because if not, I'm telling you right now, the way that we're so relaxed with this disappointment and failure to qualify for the 2026 World Cup, as things stand, I have zero confidence that we'll qualify for 2030, because we're not really willing to move the needle. Even us, it's one thing criticizing the Jamaica Football Federation, criticize speed. Obviously, speed is part of the federation and so on. But just we as fans, I don't think we're doing enough to move the needle. I don't think we believe in the power that's at our disposal. It's almost as if you guys believe that you're powerless, which is mad, because when I look at other nations and the way that they move the needle and the way that they take matters into their own action, I can't see us doing that. I really can't see us doing that as a fan base, which then leads me to asking the question, what are we exactly complaining about? If we're not willing to do things differently, what exactly are we complaining about? You can't keep beating the drum of insanity, and complaining when you get the same end result. Like you just can't really do that, because it doesn't make sense. I don't think enough fans realize that we don't need the JFF, with the greatest of respect to them, and we damn sure don't need the players, with the greatest of respect to them neither. It's them that need us, and enough of the fan base just don't really, either you don't realize that or you don't give a damn, but you're happy to come on YouTube and you're happy to stay in the comment section and say get them out. But what are you willing to do as a fan? Like, what are you willing to do as a fan in terms of moving the needle? We've been saying the same nonsense for the past, half a decade and more, with regards to saying you want the president to step aside, you want this person to be sacked. They're not going to be sacked. They're not stepping aside. Like the man has said it from the horse's mouth himself, that he is not resigning, is not going nowhere. So what are you going to do about it? Or I should say, what are we going to do about it as the 12th man? I think we've reached to a point where we really need to like assess the way we do things. We need to look at whether or not we're willing to control the controllables, because we damn sure cannot physically remove Mr. Ricketts, President Ricketts, from his position, and you definitely can't remove the board neither. You cannot go into the headquarters of the Jamaica Football Federation and remove these guys from their powers in the high echelon. So how about we as a community start to focus on the things that we can control and look at how other countries have moved the needle, and by moving the needle, they've managed to bring forth the necessary changes. I kind of feel like that's where we're at, where our football is concerned. I'm tired of the same old repetitive, boring, dull conversation. I'm so sick and tired of it. It's almost as if you're talking to a brick wall, because these guys don't care. You're making noise, but you're making all the wrong noise, because they do not care, and that's not affecting them. coming on YouTube and saying this person should be sacked and that person needs to what? You're not frightening them. They couldn't care less. They don't respect us as the 12th man. They have zero respect for us as the 12th man. So we now need to look at what we can control and control the controllables. And again, as I said, look at what other countries are doing and look at the success of what other countries have done where their 12th man is concerned, and bring some of that into our own community. If you guys are not willing to do that, if you're not willing to do things differently, just shut the hell up and just settle for complacency, because we're not going to be qualifying for the 2030 FIFA Men's World Cup if things stay the same that they are, if things stay the same way, especially where the fan base is concerned. If we're not willing to move that needle, let's just forget about us. Comment here has caught my eye. What does it say? YouTuber is paid propagandist. Well, I don't know about no YouTuber who's getting paid. I can most definitely tell you that I'm not getting paid to run no agenda. But if there's any YouTubers out there being paid, then good for them. Good for them. I hope they're proud of themselves. They're also part of failure. At the end of the day, they're part of failure. But if the money is worth it, hey, good for them. You have to find a way of putting food on the table, don't you? So if it's working for them, good for them. I can't tell you what other YouTubers are doing because I'm not in their pockets, I'm not in their bank account, and I'm not in their business. I don't know what they do with their time. I don't know what they do with their money. I don't know what agreements those guys have signed. But just going back to what Mr. Ricketts said there in that interview over on Elite Sports TV, which has been reposted. So again, you can watch that in your own time. It's funny. Again, I really do want this interview to spin the block. I do want a follow-up interview there. Again, hopefully Ryan will make that happen for us. If not, we're gonna give him the belt to us as well, because the belt to us, it don't discriminate. So just because he's the king of YouTube, that doesn't mean we're not gonna put that belt across his back, or at least me. I'm definitely not going to be afraid to put that belt across his back. All right, so you guys should be able to see this one on the screen for you. Let me go ahead and pop myself back on screen. Just going over, I'm sure you guys have seen this one, right? Where Italy, once again, I think we were doing the live stream when they were playing against Bosnia, and obviously they failed to qualify for yet again another FIFA Men's World Cup. That's three successive failure to qualify for a FIFA Men's World Cup on the trot, right? And you can see here in black and white that they also failed to qualify for 2018 and also 2022. So what really piqued my interest there with listening to Mr. Ricketts was him talking about, I believe he said something to the effect of no president has walked away after failing to qualify for a World Cup. Well, again, the interview needs to go ahead, because with Italy, and I'm not comparing Jamaica to Italy, but he clearly is comparing Jamaica to all the other countries in the world, whether that's more economically developed countries or lower economically developed countries. And in case he isn't aware, maybe he's living under a rock. We've all seen the fallout of Italy failing to qualify for FIFA Men's World Cup, and they've had what you will call like a overhaul. I'm sure you guys would have seen this one. It says here that Italian Football Federation faces a major overhaul in the coming period in the wake of Gusto's departure. Presidents Gabriele Gavina and Gigi Buffon, who was the team manager, are also leaving. So they've had some overhaul of their own. And that's probably the biggest overhaul where football is concerned in terms of football powerhouse. Obviously, elsewhere, we've seen countries that I can't say they're on par with Jamaica, because we've seen a few countries there that's never qualified for World Cup. Thankfully, we have qualified for one FIFA Men's World Cup, and even they have shown some ambition of their own where their football is concerned. If you look elsewhere, if I can bring this one up on screen for you guys, you can see where Venezuela is concerned. They've gone ahead and they've sat their coach, and again, this came after failing to qualify for this summer's World Cup. And Venezuela, we already noticed that they don't have a World Cup qualification in their the success of qualifying for a a World Cup in their history books. They've never done it, but still they're showing signs of ambition, and they've gone ahead and they've sacked their coach. And this is them pretty much putting the wheels in motion to build towards, hopefully for their sake, qualifying for the FIFA Men's 2030 World Cup. Whereas Jamaica, as I said, we're kind of just sat there scratching our heads, not really knowing what to do, or not even willing to push the boat out and do something different. And similar to Venezuela, we've also seen where Indonesia is concerned. I think we spoke about Indonesia, right? Several weeks back. It's probably maybe, was it at the start of the year? I can't remember. I think we spoke about Indonesia at the start of the year, where we discussed familiar name to us, where we spoke about John Herdman going over to Indonesia. I think this came as a surprise recruitment for myself. Definitely, they went and hired John Herdman again after their failure to qualify for this summer's World Cup. And this one definitely stunned me. Of all of the sacking and presidents stepping down, this one definitely caught me by surprise, because it's not to say I didn't think they have it in them, but that's a big catch. That's a massive catch. We obviously know who John Herdman went ahead and replaced, and they went ahead and I could definitely say went bigger on their appointment. So again, John Herdman, obviously we know that he was linked to the Reggae Boyz then vacant job, although I kind of feel like at this point they just put that out there to keep us happy, to make us think that they're planning on appointing someone with a proven track record where international football is concerned, but there was no real desire to go ahead and employ him. I don't know if that one showed up on screen for you guys, but it seemed to have come off my screen. So let's go ahead and put that one back up. So again, you guys can see there on your screen where a couple of countries have already put the wheels in motion, where their attempt and their desire to qualify for the next World Cup post 2026 is concerned. So the likes of Italy, Venezuela, I believe Peru's also included in that as well, Indonesia, and a few other countries. And Indonesia, I think that one is quite intriguing, because similar to Venezuela, they've never qualified for a FIFA Men's World Cup. I say never qualified for a FIFA Men's World Cup, not as Indonesia. When they were known as Dutch East Indies, that was their former name. So before they gained independence, they were actually the first Asian nation to qualify for a World Cup, to play at a World Cup back in, I think it was like 1938. Memory serves me well. So similar to us, they have one FIFA Men's World Cup qualification in their back pocket, and they are in the driving seat, building towards 2030. Meanwhile, the president has come out quite bold. You know, Mr. Ricketts has come out quite bold there, and he has said that he won't resign. And it's stomach churning. It's definitely stomach churning, because, as I said, it's another example of those guys there in the high echelon. A couple of those Reggae Boys can be roped into the conversation. The evidence is as clear as daylight that they just don't give a damn about us. They do not care about us as the fans. If you guys want to sit there and be fools and buy into football that isn't football, that's going to leave you feeling brokenhearted and disappointed, be my guest. Just don't come on my channel and complain about the subsequent failure to come. Again, we are the consumers at the end of the day, and enough fans don't realize the power that we have at our disposal. Instead, you guys are letting them run away with it. You're letting the federation run away with the power that they think they have over us, and you're letting the players continuously disrespect us, letting them think that they have more power over us as the 12th man. I don't really understand why we're like that as a culture, as a football community, but it is what it is. I know what I'm going to be doing going forward. I can't force you guys to do what you don't want to do, or what you can't use your brain to tell you to do, but I definitely know what I'm going to be doing moving forward with the Reggae Boys, because, as I said, something's got to give. I can't keep on buying into failure. I can't keep on putting my heart and soul into failure, because it just doesn't make sense. I ain't got time for nonsense. If you guys want to continue to buy into it, go ahead, be my guest. You're saying here Gusto is speed. He is a nationalist. I don't know, maybe nationalists have a different meaning to what I understand it to be. But speaking of nationalists, it's interesting that you've brought this dropped this comment in the comment section. Thank you for that, by the way. But you kind of reminded me of the former Reggae Girlz head coach. Let me see if I can bring myself back up on screen. Yeah, that comment there reminded me of the former Reggae Girlz head coach, and also take into consideration where, as I said, Mr. Ricketts once said on Elite Sports TV that he would walk away if we fail to qualify for this summer's World Cup. Then he said to new media that he's pretty much staying put. And it just reminded me of the former Reggae Girlz head coach, Vin Blaine, because I remember there was a time where, I'm pretty sure we all remember, where the team didn't want him. And he did an interview, which definitely lives in my memory, where, paraphrasing, he said that if the team don't want him, he will do what's best for Jamaica. And he subsequently obviously stepped aside because obviously the girls didn't want to be coached by him. It would have been great if these guys are such nationalists and they put their country first and they love their country so deeply and so dearly, if they could take a page out of Vin Blaine's book and say, look, my country either players there like the country don't want them, I can't deliver for my country, therefore I'm going to step aside. But they're not going to be doing that. Why? Because they don't respect the 12th man. There is no respect in the room for the 12th man. And one thing I will say about us, as I've said already, is that don't complain when failure is at your doorstep. Don't complain when we're met with failure after failure after failure, because if nothing changes, nothing changes. So do prepare yourself for more disappointment to come where 2030 is concerned, because as things stand, as I said, I can't see us qualifying for 2030. I don't think it's going to happen. And again, beating the drum where the 12th man is concerned, like if we continue to feed the power that is continuously disappointing us and failing us, don't complain when power corrupts, because you are the one that's feeding the power. You guys as the 12th man, or I should say us, we are the ones who are feeding the power. So do not complain when power corrupts, because we're the one that's buying into it and we are the ones that's feeding it. That goes from the Jamaica Football Federation and also some of these reggae boys that definitely don't deserve to don the black, gold and green, but for some reason they're going to be remaining in our national colors, and definitely they're going to continue to disappoint us, because that seems to be the only thing that they're consistent at, just disappointing their nation. The JFF is the epitome of corruption. Corruption is corruption. 12 tribes of Israel. Big up yourself there in the comment section. Orain, I see you in the comment section. Chorus, Zada. Did I pronounce your name right? I saw your question, well, your comment earlier on. So big ups to you in the comment section. Blair is saying that the Reggae Girlz will do a three-peat, I believe. Yeah, I think they will do a three-peat. I think they will qualify for another FIFA Women's World Cup, which kind of reminds me, I wish I could just flip the international calendar. I wish I could just let the women's team go first before the men's team. That would probably put me in a much better mood, because Lord knows I really had to power up and give myself some energy to do this live stream for you guys, because it's just so sick and tired of the disappointment that I don't really want to talk about the reggae boys. I'm really tired of the disappointments and tired of us as a fan base doing the same damn thing and complaining about the end result. Some of us are just not serious, and that's something that we just have to learn to accept. Traditional media the same, new media the same. You guys are not serious. You like to complain, but you're not really willing to put the wheels in motion. Some of you are just disingenuous, but it is what it is. So while you mention the Reggae Girlz, I guess we can go ahead and bring up that squad announcement there from Buzzley. I did say we was going to talk about the squad announcement last week. So let's just go ahead and listen to his squad announcement, and also move on to listening to the press conference, today's press conference, before we close off on the show. Obviously, as I said, they're going to be taking on the Antigua and Barbuda. Hopefully, if you guys are in Jamaica, you know what to do. If you're free, you should be heading to the national stadium. Pending that you can head to the national stadium and support the women's team in the same way that you support the men's team. Obviously, I can't tell you how to spend your money, to each their own. But again, I think if you can support the men's team, you definitely can find some time to support your female counterparts, all right, especially considering that they're chasing more illustrious history of their own. So let's go ahead and see if I can find this this, what the hell am I looking for? See if I can find this squad announcement from Busby some days ago before we segue and listen to today's press conference. All right, if you guys can't hear it in the comment section, do let me know and I'll go ahead and make some tweaks my end. All right.
Against Guyana and Antigua and Barbuda, respectively. Antigua and Barbuda on April 10 and Guyana on April 18. This will be the first time that our senior women's national team will be on home soil since November 2024, when we took on South Africa in a pair of friendlies in Montego Bay, St. James, Jamaica. And as we know, these two games are crucial in order to qualify for the CONCACAF W Championship, which is set to take place in November. The venue for that final tournament is still to be decided. So we're joined with the head coach of the Reggae Girlz, Coach Hubert Busby, who will share some opening remarks, and then he will get straight into the squad. Good morning, Coach. Over to you.
Good morning, Simon. Good morning, our distinguished guests. Hope your week is off to a great start. Just before we announce the squad for the upcoming games, I just want to take this opportunity to wish Coach Speed, the staff, and of course the boys all the best tonight on what we know will be a historic win that will take us to our second World Cup. So just want to wish everyone over there in Mexico all the best tonight. So with that said, Simon, could you please share the screen? We'll go through the roster. All right, for the upcoming games against Antigua and Guyana, we will have goalkeepers Sydney Snyder, Rebecca Spencer, Leah Brooks, defenders Tiana Harris, Chantel Swaby, Vianne Sampson, Cameron Simmons, Amelia Van Zanten, Allison Swaby. Midfielders will include Sade Adamalukin, Atlanta Primus, Drew Spence, Trudy Carter, Denisha Blackwood, and our forwards will be Kayla McKenna, Natasha Thomas, Kadisha Bunny Shaw, Shania Hales, Jody Brown, Paige Bailey Gale, Solai Washington, Kiki Van Zanten, and Chanel Buckley will round out the squad. All right, so that will be the squad for these match day 3 and 4. I'll open up the floor now to any questions that you may have.
I really had to pause. Sorry about that, guys. I see a comment in the comment section. Good day to yourself, Richard. Richard says, could the boys do a unified boycott of international call-ups until the JFFs reshuffle or present leadership change or resigning or voted off? And it's so funny. It's almost as if you're thinking along the same lines as myself, and this is something that really popped into my mind. And the reason for that is when I obviously put in the show together, knowing that I also wanted to listen to what Busby has to say for the squad announcement and also the pre-match press conference. And also talking about Vin Blaine earlier on, and I don't think the boys, I think not all of them, but I think some of the boys definitely, the heart just isn't there. Some of them, the heart just isn't there. And I compare it to the Reggae Girlz, and obviously we saw what the Reggae Girlz did back then, where they, again, made it quite abundantly clear publicly that they do not want Vin Blaine as their head coach. Do I see something similar happening with the Reggae Boys? No, because I think some of them are selfish, and I don't think they're willing to risk the potential of upsetting the Jamaica Football Federation and subsequently not receiving a future call-up. I don't think they care like that. As I said, I think some of the fans definitely care more than the players, and that's not all of the players. Some of the players, not all, because I think players care differently across the board where the men's team is concerned. So I don't see them doing something as bold as their female counterpart, where they made it quite clear publicly that, look, we're not going to be playing for you unless we're not going to be representing the national team unless a few people step aside. I don't think we're going to be seeing that. I can't see that happening. But good comments, but I don't think that's something that they should be doing. But as I said, some of these players are selfish. Some of them are selfish, and they're going to be putting themselves before the country and also before the fans and subsequently before the next generation. So they're willing to let this nonsense continue and spill over to the next generation because they don't care enough. They don't care the way that we care. And that doesn't mean every single fan care the same, because I still think there's a couple fans there and also in new media that quite frankly just don't give a damn. They don't care enough. They're not willing to move the needle. This is something that the players there should be considering. It's a great comment. I would love to see them put the wheels in motion and make it happen, but they're not going to do it because they're probably going to be wondering about the subsequent knock-on effect to that. What's going to be the subsequent knock-on effect? You know, obviously it's going to piss off a couple of the people working for the Jamaica Football Federation. Does that then mean that they're not going to be getting subsequent call-ups to come? So that's not going to happen, but good comment, like the comment, but I can't see it happening. So let's go ahead and listen back to what Busby has to say in his squad announcement before segueing and listening to today's pre-match press conference, okay?
Thank you, Coach. So just a reminder to raise your hand, and once you're indicated, then you can be able to pose your question to Coach Busby. Thank you very much. Reminder folks to raise your hand before you pose your question. I'm not seeing any raise hand icons at the moment, but I'll give you a moment to use the raise hand feature. All right, let's start with Jason Hall. Good morning, Jason. Go ahead.
Good morning, Simon. Good morning, Coach Busby. Jason Hall, Jason Buna TV here. Coach, I see the squad. I think it's a well-balanced squad. I like the squad here. I just wanted a question on some of the players that would have made their way into NWSL. How pleased have you been with their transition to professional football? I noticed that they've been getting a lot of minutes as rookies in the league. So just how pleased are you with their progression with their respective clubs?
Yeah, it's a great point, and appreciate you being that observant or following the players, and that's great to see as well from your end. Yeah, no, look, I think, you know, we tried to get Soleil and Mimi in the last squad, but unfortunately, you know, they were just in the midst of preseason and carrying one or two knocks that they wanted to take precautions on, so they missed out in the last squad. But they've started the season really well, as you can see. I mean, they've started most of the games that they've been in, or 2/3 of the games that they've played the last couple of games. Soleil started. Mimi's been a mainstay. I think even one of the games on her debut was woman of the match, and Cameron Simmons has come on and done really well also. So yeah, I mean, look, we're glad to have them back into the squad, and they're doing really well within their environments, and they're definitely worthy of a call back into the squad.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Jason. Let's now hear from Gregory. Bryce, go ahead, Gregory.
Can you hear me?
Go ahead, Gregory. A bit low, but go ahead.
I just joined the meeting, so like the question was asked yet. But with these two games being the first game on Jamaican soil, we passed the hurdle that was the crowd war. How do we really these games ensure that finishing group strong as well as give the fans something to look forward to going to the championship option?
Yeah, I believe you're asking about the squad and coming out of the Nicaragua match. Yeah, listen, I think first and foremost, credit to the players. I've said it going in. It was a tricky tie going in. It's never easy to go and win on Central American soil. It's never easy to travel there. You throw in the turf and different conditions surrounding the game made it a very difficult tie. I do think, you know, upon reflection, watching the game 3 or 4 times now, I thought, you know, as I maintained probably on the day, that if we put away our chances kind of earlier on, the game would have kind of taken a different shape, but it didn't. So we had to find a way, having gone down 1 goal early and just obviously getting tied up before half. I think a couple of changes that have made a difference, livelied up, tweaked one or two things. So really pleased on how those players or how the team reacted. I still think at times you could have managed the game.
So why would they do it to jeopardize their, I'm sorry, but did the Reggae Girlz not do it? Did the Reggae Girlz not jeopardize their future? That's the point that I'm trying to make here, that they're not going to do what is expected of them or what some fans would like to see them do. They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. They don't care enough. And again, that's not all of the reggae boys, but some of them, they just do not care enough. Why did the Reggae Girlz do what they did? Because they wanted fruitful changes. They wanted fruitful changes. They wanted meaningful changes, no? If not for them, then for the future generations. If the women's team can do it, the men's team definitely can as well. But some of these players, as I said, they just don't care enough. It's as clear as daylight. Not all, but just some of the players just don't care enough. So I don't expect them to do something similar to what the Reggae Girlz did. It's not going to happen.
Bit better, but you know, the two things in terms of the objectives going into that match was one, ensure we get the 3 points, which we did, and two, make sure that our players left there healthy. And that was obviously obtained. So credit to the players, credit to the staff, like I've said before, for getting the players ready for that match. So as we head into this one on home soil, it's great. The players haven't been in for over a year now. I know they're excited to come in and
pitch. I already have the squad.
Apologies, coach. It looks like you're muted. You could just unmute your microphone.
Yeah, I'm not sure why that was muted. So yeah, just, and obviously now going back and playing on home soil, I know the players are very excited to play in front of the Jamaican people, and obviously, you know, we're excited to the fact that we can you know, be back on home soil, and I know the crowd will have a good crowd on both games. So yeah, just really looking forward to the two matches in the upcoming weeks.
Thank you, Gregory. Monique, Layla, go ahead. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. Good morning, coach. Good morning to my fellow journalists here. Coach, all right, two quick questions. I noticed the absence of Kanya Plummer. Is that due to an injury? And then the second one, Trudy Carter, she's making her return. What are your expectations from her for these two games?
Yeah, obviously, Kanya is out due to an injury. Thought she was going to be able to make it in, but unfortunately, she could not. Kind of occurred. We thought she'd be good. It's going to occur an injury that's occurred a couple of weeks ago that we thought was on the mend, but unfortunately, we didn't think that she was going to be healthy for the entire duration. So we brought in some other players instead, but we hope to get her back in the next window. Nothing serious, thankfully. So obviously, her leadership, both on and off the pitch, and her presence just in general, will be missed. We've got a couple of players who have started preseason with the likes of Tiffany as well, Cameron, who's just starting preseason, and Naya Cordorza, who's at Halifax, both of them. So they're kind of getting into the swing of things a little bit behind the NWSL periodization calendar. So we'll obviously monitor them and see where they go in. As far as Trudy, look, she's been doing really well in Mexico. You know, she started off really well, had a few injuries, got back in, played. Still, you know, consistent minutes, whether she's starting or coming off the bench. I'm sure, obviously, both her and the club would probably want her to be a little bit more productive, but obviously that is the game sometimes. But she had a great camp in Nicaragua, and looking forward to her to build on that into this camp. So it's all there for her to play for, and she's got 2 weeks ahead for her to continue to impress.
All right, thank you, Coach.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Monique. Any further questions? A reminder to raise your hand, especially to those individuals that have joined in recently, to raise your hand to pose your question to Coach Busby. Thank you. Okay, Gregory, you have one more. Go ahead.
Another player as well, I think I was going to ask was Jody Brown. She was, if I'm not calculating in the last squad, she's back now. How much have you following her time in Marseille as well? What was the introduction into the squad in terms of the attacking potential?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you look into the squad, the likes of Jody and Paige, Bailey, Gale, Denisha, they're very flexible. They can play in multiple positions. Cameron Simmons can play in multiple positions. And so they give us versatility. With the likes of Jody, she was, again, another one who probably would have been into the squad, got injured, was out for a bit of time, but has found a way back in and playing well in Marseille. And, again, it takes a lot when you're adjusting to a new country, new surroundings, language, all the other things that come with moving country. But obviously we know what she can do, and very excited to have her back into the squad. So yeah, she's back in, and look forward to see what how she links up with her teammates again after being out from last camp.
Thank you, Gregory. Any further questions? All right, Jason, one more from you. Go ahead.
Yeah, Coach. Just fully looking at the squad some more as I'm listening to you talk here, and I'm noticing maybe an abundance of forwards and maybe less defenders. Is it that you see some of the players in this list as multifaceted, so that you can fill certain positions? Most notably, I would say at the fullback position. How do you hope to cope with that? With, of course, 2 games in this window, hopefully everybody can come through the games well, but it looks like you might have to do some adjusting there. How do you see that?
Well, as I alluded to, and it's a good point, as I alluded to, you've got Denisha Blackwood, who can play as a fullback. Paige Bailey Gale, who was in last camp, was slotted into a couple of positions and then actually did really well, and probably unfortunate not to get on the pitch after having the camp that she had. And so, one of the things going forward is going to be players' versatility, to be able to play in multiple positions. When I say multiple positions, or positions that are linked. So, you're talking about a full back into a wide midfield role, depending on the opposition, a central role, whether we're playing the block and attacking mid. You can also maybe play out wide in different roles. But, making sure that we put the players in their best position to get the best out of them is obviously something that we're cautious of. Or conscious of, rather. But I think it shows the flexibility and the tactical flexibility of having players like that who can do multiple things at different times. And so whether a fullback or a wing back, players who can step into midfield as well, like the likes of Jody Brown, as I mentioned, is very crucial, because it allows for us to do different things tactically. But other than the goalkeepers, I think everyone is pretty balanced. Vian Sampson, has played in midfield as well, but currently playing the back line with her club in Japan. So credit to the players. Their versatility is what gets them into the squad, and their consistency within their environment has also been noticed, and the reason why they're in their squad. So yes, it's very, very important to have players who are quite versatile, because it allows us to do different things.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you very much, Jason. Monique, go ahead.
Coach, just another one. The NWSL season started, I think 3 weeks ago. I think there are 3 games in, and I've seen the Houston that's Kiki's team, and San Diego, where Amelia plays for. And both of them have started and have looked really good. Kiki scored a double last week. What are your thoughts on both of them and how they've started the season and your expectation coming into the Reggae Girlz camp?
Yeah, it was unique. I think we were all glued to our screens a couple of weeks ago when Kiki was due to go up against her sister in that match. And one played one half and came off, and one played on the other half. So So it's good to see them. What a proud moment for them, proud moment for their family, and proud moment for us as well to see them do well. And again, when you speak about versatility, Kiki plays wide. She can play inside of that pocket, plays areas where sometimes she plays for us as well. At times last week, they played in a 2-front. She played up top in a 2-front, and they're doing well. And again, that's credit to the players, their ability to adapt to whatever tactical requirements are needed. And again, what is important is that what they're asked to do in their club, they might be asking similar roles to do with us, or sometimes it's completely different. But they've both really hit the season. They both started the season really well, and I wish for all of them to continue and wish for all of them to stay healthy, which is obviously the main important thing for us heading into this crucial time of year.
Thank you very much, Monique. Any further questions this morning? All right, thank you very much, members of the media. We appreciate your presence this morning. Thank you as well to Coach Busby for his time as well. We look forward to your support for these games on April 10 and 18 at the National Stadium. As we said earlier, it's the first time that our senior women's national team will be on home soil since November, December of 2024. So we look forward to your support there to help our senior women's national team qualify for the CONCACAF W Championship in November. And of course, we look forward to your support today at 4 p.m. Jamaica time as well on the men's equivalent as well. Thank you very much, everybody, and have a pleasant rest of the day. Thank you.
Since we've been into my two lovely people, happy to be here. So we're heading into a third our group qualifiers round the road here in Jamaica. First and foremost, Coach, tell me how you're feeling about that, how the girls, being excited about being in Jamaica.
Well, I think the most important thing is, and good morning, everyone. The most important thing is for us is it's been a while since we've been on home soil, so it's great to be back in Jamaica as a group. I know the players have been waiting for that for a long time, and looking at the schedule and making sure that, from our perspective, that we're coming into our home country and we want to make sure that we get the results, but also do well in front of our people. So I know the camp has been good thus far, and obviously looking forward to the match tomorrow.
Chantal, congratulations. First Reggae Girl to hit 50. Caps for the national team, and what better way to do that in Jamaica? Share with me how you're feeling towards the game tomorrow.
I actually didn't know that I was at 50 caps, so thank you for letting me know that. But yeah, definitely feeling really excited for the game. Like Coach said, it's really exciting to be back here, back home in front of the fans, and have a really good group of girls here with us to be able to get us through to the next round. So really excited, honestly, for the game tomorrow.
Yeah, Coach Boyz, the first two matches would be deemed some of the toughest matches, but naturally not taking any opponents for granted. Antigua and Barbuda, what do you know about them?
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, it's World Cup qualifiers. We all know what that means. We all know that, in reality, everybody, needs to win those matches. We understand the significance of winning those matches. And it's been difficult. We know we went through a tough one on the road in Nicaragua, but at the end of the day, we wanted to make sure that as a group, we focus on the task at hand. We got the points that needed. The next two games, every game poses a different problem. The next two games for us really is about the focus on Antigua. We know now that they've obviously been officially eliminated, so that comes with a different sort of challenge. The reality is that they can maybe play with a little more freedom than they did before. That pressure's off for them. We speak now about what it means to be the hunted. Slightly different from us being the hunter for the last couple of years. So that comes with a different challenge as well. And so we have to be prepared for that. And we've seen that early on in the challenges. So we obviously have to make sure that that's something we cope with. But overall, we're just going to take one game at a time. We'll deal with Antigua, turn the page, take the learnings, findings from that, and then move on to the Guyana match. But right now, really our sole focus is dealing on what we need to do and take care of business with Antigua tomorrow.
Yeah, and we know how it is. There will always be challenges. One of the challenges is we're batting without Jody Brown. I'll allow you to speak to that.
Yeah, look, she was selected. She was coming off an injury, got herself healthy, and the club deemed that they wanted to keep her back for more precautionary reasons, even though she'd been back. So obviously we have to support the decision made by the clubs in those circumstances. I know she was definitely, gutted not to be coming back home for sure, but in the long term, in the best interest of her, if that's what's needed for her to get her ready, both in the short term and the long term, obviously we have to respect that. But she'll be missed. But when she's not there, another opportunity comes along, and we have a deep pool of players. So we have no doubt someone will take that mantle on and do very well in this camp.
So maybe when you look at the group stage, more rounds will be played later on this year. But just overall, in summary, the mixture of players, seniors, introduction to other players, and here you guys are now.
Yeah, I mean, I think it just kind of shows the depth that we have as a team and really being able to cycle through a bunch of players. Obviously, having injuries, it's good to be able to have that depth with players to come in and kind of see how they can perform with players that have already been here. So I think it really it shows how much depth we have and how we're going to be able to use that moving forward to kind of pick our selection for the later rounds.
Absolutely. We go to Reggae Girlz, the Jamaica group.
Good morning.
Morning.
First question to Fabian. Like she mentioned, you are now approaching 50 games. Having made a debut in 2018 while in university, you've been a part of both qualification campaign. You've played every game at both World Cups. Can you speak about the growth in yourself as a player as well as in the program and how it means to be here again for hunting for a potential third?
Yeah, for sure. I think coming from my first cap, being in college still, it definitely just growth as an individual and being able to kind of step up into more of a leadership role now. I think back in France, I was very timid, very shy. I'm just trying to kind of submerge myself in the environment and just kind of be there. But I feel like now as an older player, an older person, I'm able to kind of have a more impact than I probably did a couple years ago. So I think I'm really proud with how far I've come along and the journey that I've had here with Jamaica.
Coach, you made mention that the team is now the hunting and other hunters. With these last 2 games coming up, 2 wins with the team in the championship, where they changed it now to a knockoff tournament. How important are these games in building momentum for the knockoff games?
Yeah, I mean, it's vitally important, but I think even before those steps is to make sure that we're putting all the pieces in place in terms of our playing model, making sure that we're really moving forward with progression. And we talk about it all the time. It's not about being perfect. It's about making progress. And I've been able to see that within the group, both on and off the pitch, and we're making those gains. Sometimes maybe it's not as much as we'd probably want, but we're making them nonetheless. So I think before we even get there, it's important that we take care of these next 2 games. It's important that we utilize the windows after that, the maximum games that we utilize to fine tune and then head into those games. So there's a process. And I know at times it's just easy to just get to that last step, but in football, it's not like that. And we've seen that as well. So we really need to focus on what it is to be present on the ground, feet on the ground, focus on where we are, what needs to happen. That's the mindset. Credit to these women and the group and the leadership. You spoke about it. We've got a lot of leaders in this team now, players with experience who know what it means to be in the moment. And I think that's really what's important. So we know what the long-term goal is, absolutely. That's not, that's clear. But along the way, it's really important you take care of the details and make sure that we stay in the present and do what's right to take care of, because if not, then we can see what happens.
Any Vision TV. One question for Coach and one for Sweet. Coach, with tomorrow being a must-win game, so to speak, what are some of the other intangibles that you'll be looking forward to for tomorrow?
Well, I think it's really, we're at home, and so we know what it means to play at home. We know what it means to have the office packed. We know what it means to have the people behind us, get them out of their seat, that 12th person, man, woman, to be behind this group. So we want to come out with a very positive energy, obviously be the provocateur, take the games to the teams. That's what we really want to do. Football is obviously sometimes not like that. You have to make adjustments along the way, but our mindset is to start the game with a very positive approach.
And Swaby, with the disappointment of the Reggae Boys, do you guys feel extra pressure continuing in the World Cup qualifiers?
I wouldn't say any added pressure. I think we kind of know where we stand as a team, especially from the women's side. We've done it twice. So I think it's more of kind of carrying the weight to continue that kind of cycle. I don't think it really comes from the men's side. I think it just comes from our standard within and knowing that we were there once and being able to go back there again and kind of keep that a continuous cycle for us.
All right. One of my John Fun. Coach, we see that Shani Ashley was added to the team. Can you walk us through the thinking behind her selection, as well as how much of this is a major confidence boost to the local league?
Well, I think it's really about, and we've been, contrary to what people might think, we've got a really good pulse on it. I'm here for a lot of the times. We watch the games. Credit to the Women's Premier League for posting. So even if we're not on the island, we're picking up on games. We have connections within the clubs in terms of what's happening. I think what's really important now is we look and identify those young players who can come in and not just necessarily compete right now, but could train to raise their level to see what it's like. It's great, obviously, that it inspires others. We know what that means as well. She's training with the group. More than likely probably get on with this particular cycle, but it is an inspiration to others. But it also allows for her to see what that level is. And you're not going to know what it is until you're inside to see just how high the standard is with players on the pitch that she has to come and compete with. So it's been good, but it's not just about the football. It's but also teaching her what it means to be a professional, both on and off the pitch. I think a lot of those things often spoken of enough. And so if we can help guide those young players, and then she can leave that environment and go back to her environment, inspire other people, then that allows for that cycle, because then she raises a standard within her environment. And we hope that that sort of reciprocates across. But the first thing for her is to make sure she understands really what it means to wear this jersey.
Kimani, see you.
Good morning, Coach. Good morning, Sean.
Morning.
I just want to ask you about Khalida, Coach. Basically, in the form of her life, she cemented herself as one of the best forwards on the planet. How big is having a player like that in the squad as we seek to, get back to the World Cup once again?
Yeah, I've been saying it now for, if those who care to listen, I've been saying it now for over a year. She's the best striker in the world, and she belongs to us. And we need to acknowledge that. We need to appreciate that and exactly what it is that we're seeing right now at the highest level. And so, it's not just with her being a great player. The challenge and obviously where I've seen the growth in her is to be a good leader, both on and off the pitch. And she's done a tremendous job with that. She's in the form of her life. May that continue. Not just her, some other players now are, hitting the back of the net. Kiki Vincent leads the NWSL in scoring. So they're in a good vein of form, as they say, and hope that continues. And that, again, raises a bar. And that's really what it's about, us continue to raise the standards when she comes in. But she's one of one. There's no one like her with her profile and the way that she plays, and it's important for us to utilize her strengths to the best of her ability.
Yeah, first maybe, of course, Coach just speaking about Bunny in the way he did. From your perspective, being a part of the leadership group, what has it been like just working with Bunny in terms of being the leaders to get us back to another?
Yeah, I think it's great to have a player like Bunny part of your team. She's, like he said, best striker in the world. So being able to play with a person like that, great leader, great player, obviously, but having her part of your squad makes you want to drive yourself also. So seeing where she's coming from at Man City and her at that level and then coming to play with you is really rewarding because you are able to push yourself and really strive to get to that same level that she's at. So it's for sure a blessing to have her on the team to push us all as individuals to want to get to the highest level for sure.
And the final question from me before the lady and gentlemen head out to the field. 18-0 in the opening match, 4-3. I don't know what different was thinking. Anyhow, what kind of Jamaicans will be turning out in numbers tomorrow? Big supporters of the girls, which is what we love. What can they expect, you think, from the team? Let me start with you, Sylvie, and then to Coach.
Yeah, I mean, I think they can expect a lot of excitement, confidence, personality. We're really excited to be back here, like Coach said, on home soil. So I think a lot of goals they should be expecting, and really just a great show, a great game. I think, yeah, like I said, we're really excited to be back here. So just pushing that standard, being able to get to the next game, the next round, and do that for the fans.
Yeah, I think it's really important that, again, we sort of set the standard from the first whistle to the last whistle. It's really about focusing on us. But I'm imploring people to come to the match, come and see a great, not just football, but obviously some of the prizes or a great asset that these women are to the country. Obviously, it's really important, but come out and support the team. Look forward to playing in the office, as I say, and look forward to a good match.
Oh, all right, guys. All right. I'm keeping my eyes on the comment section there. Miss Rochelle Brown, good day to yourself. I hope you're in great health. As I said, I hope all of you guys there in the comment section are in great health. And definitely, if you guys are heading to the game tomorrow, I hope that you arrive safe and unharmed. You know how we do it. We're going to be doing a build up to the game tomorrow, if that makes sense. A live build up, and also hoping to sit and watch the game with you guys, doing some match previews and so on. Hopefully talk about a couple of the players and looking at what they're doing, not just with the national team, but also elsewhere as well. So if you guys have any questions, please do go ahead and let me know in the comment section before I close up. I kind of hate combining the two. I hate combining the Reggae Boys and the Reggae Girls just because the men's team was such a bloody disappointment that they really do alter my mood. Like my mood just feels like it's right down rock bottom at the just feel like my mood is just very low, all because of the bloody disappointment of the men's team. I should be really excited for tomorrow's game. Obviously, we're going to beat them. There's no two ways about that. That's not being confident. That's not being cocky. That's just me being fully confident in the girls being able to do the job. No, I'm not okay. Like this men's team, they've definitely, like I said, they've just it's just kind of feel like, what's the point, like with this national team, not the Reggae Girls per se, but just the Reggae Boys. And I said, what's the bloody point with them? Like it just kind of feels like, as I said on my last live stream, I think it was last week, I think I've reached the point where I'm just like, I need to remove my heart from this because it's too painful to watch. It's too painful to follow, way too painful to follow where the men's team is concerned. But I will say this again, it's not so much. I saw a comment there in the comment section again from Richard, a really good comment from Richard. And he says, if they, obviously he's referring to the players, he says, let's bring that one up back again for you there, Richard. He says, if they demand the change in the federation and we the fans stop prioritize the said federation, then it will be toppled. The power that the current leadership of the Jamaica Football Federation has, thus forcing them to resign. And I like your idea, but I don't think enough fans are on your wavelength, unfortunately. As I said at the start of my show, I think a lot of these fans just don't realize the power at their disposal. And as it relates to the players, some of them just don't care enough to put their body on the line. They don't care enough to put their heads on the line, similar to what we've seen with our female counterparts, where again, I'm echoing what I've said, where they publicly made it be known that they did not want to be coached by their then gaffer. Vin Blaine. And subsequently, fair play to Vin Blaine, he came out and he did an interview and he said, look, if the girls don't want him as their head coach, he will do what's best for Jamaica and he will step aside and he will resign. Are we going to see more of the same where the men's team is concerned? Absolutely not. Absolutely not, because as I said, some of those players just don't care enough. The fans, not all of the fans, because I still think a couple of the fans are willing to drag their foot and they expect to see the end result that their heart desire, but you're not moving the needle. The girls have moved the needle, but certain section of the fan base and new media, you're not willing to move the needle, similar to some of those reggae boys. You don't want to control the controllables. And as I said, if we continue to feed the power that be, for example, the Jamaica Football Federation, that unfortunately continuously disappoint us, do not complain when power corrupts. No disrespect to anyone, but it's frustrating. It's so frustrating following this men's national team, because it's heartbreak of the heartbreak, disappointment of the disappointment. As I said at the start of my show, we have seen elsewhere where countries or other countries are concerned, whether that's your more economically developed countries or your lower economically developed countries like your Venezuela, Indonesia, Italy, and even Ghana. Ghana, of all those countries there that I have listed, have qualified, and even they have moved the needle. Where the rest of those countries, Indonesia, Venezuela, Italy, we've seen people have had we've seen cases where from the high echelon where the president of the Italian Football Federation is concerned, he stepped aside. We've seen a complete overhaul, or to an extent of a complete overhaul, where Italy is concerned, from top to the bottom, from the president to the former head coach, Gigi Buffon, one of football's great and Italian legend, included in that, giving the marching orders. And still, where our football is concerned, it's just complete silence. People are literally coming out, the president's literally coming out and saying that he's not resigning. He will not resign, and he's a bloody hypocrite. He is a bloody hypocrite, because some years back over on Elite Sports TV, he told the man himself, Mr. Jackson, that he would step aside if we do not qualify for the World Cup. He also said he doesn't know of any president stepping aside after failing to qualify for a World Cup. Where there's a perfect example right in front of you, Mr. Ricketts, where the former president of the Italian Federation is concerned. He's shown some pride, he's shown some cojones, and he has stepped aside, whereas you're just milking this system dry. You're milking us dry, and the people that are allowing them to milk us dry is the fans. You guys don't want it bad enough. You don't want it bad enough. You want the changes to come from the players. You want the changes to come from the head coach. You want the changes to come from the Jamaica Football Federation, but you're not willing to move the needle. You're not willing to move the needle. Like, I cannot believe it. Even Ghana have seen changes of their own. They've gone ahead and they've gotten rid of the gaffer that qualified them for the World Cup. They've gone ahead and they've pushed him to the wayside, because recent results are just not good enough, despite getting the necessary results, taking them to the FIFA Men's World Cup. And then here we are, just wondering what's going on with our football, hoping and praying for things to change, beating the drum of insanity. It's just not good enough. It's just not good enough. It's just, and who is at fault of that? I say we, the 12th man. We don't want it bad enough. Neither do new media. We do not want it bad enough. We're not willing to force the change. And because we're not willing to force the change, just know that we're not going to qualify for the FIFA Men's 2030 World Cup. We're not going to qualify for it. If this is what we're willing to accept, we're just not going to qualify for the World Cup. It's ridiculous. And again, I say that's a cultural thing. That's a cultural thing, where we, the consumers, are concerned. Like, we are so used to and willing to accept poor customer service on all fronts. On all fronts, whether that's the everyday customer service, we just accept it. We just accept it. That's why it pisses me off when I go back home and I have to deal with poor customer service, because people won't grow up here and just listen and just say to these people that's dishing you out poor customer service that can't run. Then it's people like me, returning residents, that come home and people think that we're too good to be true and that we're acting up. No, we're not acting up. We know better. And because we know better, we're demanding better. And some of you people in new media, some of you content creators, and some of you guys in the comment section, you love your club more than you love your country. You're not willing to move the needle. You are not willing to do what it takes to make sure that there's a change. You're not willing to force the change. It's just one bag of chatting, all bark, no bite. It's just all bark, no bite. Like, I've literally had enough. Like, it's so sad thinking that we're not going to be at this summer's World Cup, the easiest ticket of them all, and we're not going because people just want to chat, just bare chatting, bare barking, no bites. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. It's sad. It's so sad. And then we're talking about waiting on the Reggae Girlz to lift us up. It shouldn't be like that. It should be the men that's doing the lifting. You're having to turn to women to lift up a nation. Are you not ashamed of your bloody selves? Are you not ashamed of yourselves that you turn into women to uplift the nation once more? Come on. How many times do we have to go through this? How many times? Like, it's embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. We're not willing to move the needle. So if you as new media and also the 12th man, if you're not willing to do your part, sincerely move the needle instead of this one bag of chatting, then just shut the hell up. When we fail to qualify for another FIFA Men's World Cup 2030, shut the hell up. Because you don't really want it bad enough. You don't want it bad enough. It's just all performative. You don't want it bad enough. We just don't. New media, the 12th man, and some of those players, you just don't want it bad enough. So the reason why the Jamaica Football Federation continues to win is because we are letting them win, because some of you are cowards. You're not willing to move the needle. You're not willing to go above and beyond and put your foot down, because you're a bunch of cowards. A bunch of cowards that's thinking about themselves, selfishly putting their own desires forward and ahead of the country. Whether some of you have received that brown envelope and you've slipped it into your back pocket, I don't know, but you're a bunch of cowards, selfish cowards. You're no difference to the Reggae Boys. You're no difference. You guys have a lot in common. You're a bunch of cowards. Literally, the women's team are the breadwinners. Are you not ashamed of yourselves? Like, seriously, you're not embarrassed that it's women that are the breadwinners. I have no problem with that because we're go-getters. I have no problem with that. But some of you content creators, you're not who you say you are. You're disingenuous. You're not willing to move the needle. It's just pure chatting, sitting on your brown paper envelope, sitting comfortably, pure chatting. You don't want to move that needle because it doesn't benefit you if you move the needle. Pisses me off, like failure after failure after failure, and everyone's just talking about the same person, speed. I'm sick and tired of hearing about speed. Like, how about you hang the president out to dry? He's been caught in a lie in 4K. He said one thing on Elite Sports TV that the man will walk away. Why haven't you walked away? Why has he not walked away? Because we are a bunch of mugs, so he's mugging us off. That is the reason why he hasn't walked away. Because he knows he can take the piss out of us, because we allow him to take the piss out of us. So why should he walk away? Why should he walk away? What's going to happen if he don't walk away? What's going to happen if he don't want? Are you going to stop going to the games? Are you going to stop watching the Reggae Boys? Are you going to stop buying the merch? Are you going to do peaceful protests? No, you're not. You're not on it. You guys are just not on it. It's just pure chatting, pure barking, no bites. You're too comfortable. That's the problem with some of you fans. You're too bloody comfortable. And some of you are cheating us blind. Because some of you have your countries, your second countries that you put over Jamaica. And some of you would march. You would march from here to the end of the world for your clubs. Some of you would march for your clubs. Some of you would protest for your clubs. Some of you would not go to your club's games. And whether you live it overseas or not matters not. Matters not. Because I know people in this country that's giving up their Manchester United season tickets. And once you give up that season ticket, you ain't getting that back in a lifetime. And people have given up their season ticket, one of the biggest clubs in the world, and say, enough is enough. I'm not buying no merch. I know Manchester United fans that haven't bought a merch in decades. Over a decade, they're not buying it. Reggae Boys fans not willing to do that. As soon as the merch drop, them run, go and buy it. What the hell are you lot complaining about? When you're stroking the kitty, what the hell are you complaining about? You're fattening the kitty, do not complain. As the merch drop, you're in it. Don't complain. If you're not willing to do this thing peacefully and respectfully where the protests are concerned, do not bloody well complain. You're not on it. It's all performative. I've had enough. Honest to God, I've had enough. You guys are part of my pain and suffering. You are literally part of my pain and suffering. You're part of my pain and suffering. You're not on it. You're not on it as a fan base. You're not on it as new media. You're not on it at all. You're not on it at all. If this was your club, you guys would be moving that needle. You'd be moving the needle. And then when it comes to the women's team, it's pure crickets. The energy isn't there. The love isn't there for the women's team. But time and time, these bloody frauds, these reggae boys, not all of them, but some of them are frauds. They disappoint us and you guys back them. You're disingenuine. You lot are disingenuous. You're not genuine at all. You're not genuine people. You're not. You're not. Move the needle. Don't complain. If you're buying and feeding corruption, do not complain. You're not moving that needle. You're not moving the bloody needle, so stop complaining. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Stop bloody well complaining. It's annoying now. It's so annoying. It's mad. Like, countries are already looking towards 2030. Like, I'm in disbelief. Indonesia, no disrespect to Indonesia. Indonesia moved that needle. The moment they know that they're not qualifying, they went and got John Herdman. And look at who they sacked. Look at who they sacked. Look at what Venezuela are doing. Look at what Peru are doing. And we're just here accepting foolishness. Are you having a laugh? You lot are the reason why we continue to be mugged off. You lot are the reason why we're being mugged off. It's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Crystal, I agree. I've lived here in the UK as well. And when I go home, I get frustrated by the customer service in all sectors, unnecessary rates. And you look like, you look like the one that's like, you're complaining. You know how many times I've been out with my cousin and he's just like, no, Chrissy, don't do this. And it pisses me off when he says that. I'm like, don't tell me not to react the way that I'm reacting because you guys are settling in for foolishness. Every time I go home, they piss me off with their customer service. And you see that spilling over into football. We're weak. We're weak. We don't know our value. We act like they're doing us a favor. You're not doing me no bloody favor. I'm the consumer. I'm doing you a favor. When I go and buy that jersey, I'm doing you a favor. When I show up at that game, I'm doing you a favor because I'm spending my hard-earned money. You ain't doing me no favor. I don't need the federation and I damn sure don't need some of these players. You need us. We don't need you. And enough of you fans don't seem to get that. So you stroke the kitty for failure and then you get upset when failure is on your doorstep. It's your bloody fault why we're a bunch of failures. Some of you fans, you're the reason why we're failures. Some of you are the reason why we're failing. JFF is part of the reason, but you guys are supporting the failure. So don't complain. Don't bloody well complain because you're part of failure. You're the reason why I'm sat here upset. You're the reason why I can't even sleep peacefully because I'm sleeping and I'm dreaming that we have another bloody World Cup playoff to go. I'm not in Augusta. You guys love failure too much. You love complacency too much. You're shameless with it as well. You're so bloody shameless with it. It's ridiculous. It's pissed me off now. It's really and truly pissed me off. Ricketts has been shameless and he believes he hasn't exactly. He says, DC said Ricketts has been shameless and he believes he has no one to answer to, which is why he's telling Ryan one thing. And the thing is, he's so bloody shameless. He's like, has he forgotten that he actually told Ryan that he would step aside? Has that drifted from his memory? You literally told someone on air, on camera, that you would step aside if you do not qualify for the World Cup. And then you went and told new media you have the audacity. He didn't even say that I will think about it. Vin Blaine is more of a man than you. Vin Blaine, whether you like him or not, said, look, if the girls don't want me, I will step aside. He's more of a man than you. He said, I will step aside for the betterment of my country. This president of ours is telling us clearly he's not resigning. Why the hell should I resign? These idiots are still going to go out there. They're going to buy their merch and they're going to show up in the stadiums. What am I resigning for? These clowns are still going to support us. So what am I stepping aside? You know what? I don't bloody well blame him. I don't bloody well blame him. You keep paying the light bill, guess what? The light will stay on. You keep paying that light bill and the light will stay on, no matter which country you're in. Keep paying it and the light will stay off. Don't pay that gas bill if you live overseas, especially in the UK, and see if you don't freeze to death. You guys just don't get it. You don't want it bad enough. I've had enough of you lot. I've really had enough of you lot. From what I heard, the majority of Jamaica branded jerseys are bought by non-Jamaicans as fashion statements. I have seen this in New York City when I used to live there. Yeah, especially with the new jerseys, right? It is football these days a combination of like streetwear and fashion, right? But that's besides the point, especially where Jamaica is concerned. You lot are dabbing yourself up in these jerseys and still complaining about, oh, we're failing to qualify for World Cup. You're a bunch of mugs. You lot are a bunch of mugs. Rochelle says customer service is horrible. I hate it. And Rochelle lives in Jamaica. I hate it. I despise it. These people literally believe that they are doing you a favor. You can walk into any shop in Jamaica, the simplest of shop, and they act like they are doing you a favor. And I'm like, hello, you're not doing me no favor, because I'm going to match your energy. And you're not matching people's energy. And that's why you continue to be mugged off, because you don't know how to match people's energy. All bark, no bite. All bark, no bite. All bark, no bite. If it was down to me, they would have to shut up shop already. Because when I say I'm not doing something, I mean I'm not doing it. You lot are a bunch of jokers. You lot are a bunch of jokers. I should actually be having a go at new media and the fan base as well. You lot are the reason why the fan base is depressed. You lot are not moving the needle. You're weak. You're not moving the needle. You lot are weak. You're weak. And then you turn into the Reggae Girlz to uplift you. Should be ashamed. I have walked out of Jamaica restaurant without buying one thing when the customer service is poor and server and the stinking attitude that comes with it as well. It's the nasty foul attitude that pisses me off. And I'm thinking, who do you think you're talking to? Don't let the accent fool you. If I need to draw for my mother tongue, I will. Do not let that accent fool you. Right? But the reason why they do that is because people in Jamaica, it's just like, it's either they don't know, it's like you don't value yourself, you don't know better, and you accept foolishness. It's a combination of so many different things. They just accept it. Don't accept the disrespect. Anything where you're the consumer, don't accept the poor service. That goes for anything. Could be your phone bill, your light bill. Don't accept it. Don't accept it. You are the consumer. They need you. We don't need them. And enough people just don't get that. And that's what pisses me off about this community of ours. You just don't get it. You don't get it that they need us. We don't need them. Let their families fill out the stadiums. Let your families fill out the stadiums then. Since you want to go mug off your families, don't mug me off. Let your families fill out the stadium. Let your families wear the jerseys. You lot don't want it bad enough, so stop complaining and go support your second country or your first country. Sure as hell isn't Jamaica. I have experienced them. They are beyond incompetence. I just book a ticket and pay for the next day's service for my passport and my kids. Good vibes. Oh, congrats, congrats. Love that. Love that. Love that. Let's see. Pissed me off so much. So Rochelle asked me if I'm okay, and it's like it just triggered something in me. I'm not okay, Rochelle. I'm so pissed off. I've tried to be as quiet and as composed as possible, but I think you guys know me by now that the energy just isn't what it used to be. Like, it's not the same energy. I can't lie. I'm trying my best here, but people are pissing me off. Like, our fan base have pissed me off. Crystal, I agree with you, because all the people all the people have to do is just don't go to any of the Reggae Boyz game. Let Speed and the president and the players stay in the stadium if the Speed is the coach. Simple. And I don't have nothing against no one personally with the Jamaica Football Federation, but enough is enough. You lot are weak. You're weak. You keep on letting them overpower us, and there's more of us than them. Okay, you're not going to change. You're not going to step aside. Have the football. Enjoy the football. Have it without me. Enjoy the bloody football without me. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Fill out the stadiums without me. If it was just me, I swear to you, changes would have come already. If it was just me, changes would have come already. But you lot are not on it. You're not on it. And you love the men's team more than you love the women's team. So you deserve to be disappointed. You don't deserve to see Jamaica qualify for another FIFA Men's World Cup. You don't deserve it. With social media, some efforts to get people not to buy the jerseys might actually be successful, especially if the reason it is DC. I sat back and I was listening to and I was thinking to myself, I was just like, I can't believe like we as a community haven't done this already. I literally sat there and I was just like, I can't believe that this is a thing that we're not even trying to do. We're not trying, but we complain. What are you complaining about? What are you complaining about? It's like you've got a dodgy landlord, you pay your rent on time, but there's still issues around the house that needs to be sorted out. And you are the mug that continues to pay the rent on time. You're a mug. You're a mug. You are a mug. Remember, I was living in North London and I had like one of those. She was a nice lady, to be fair. She was a cool lady, but she was such an ass. As a landlord, she was an ass. She was an ass, and we, the tenants, were the cesspit. And she tried to mug me off, and I was just like, not on my watch. Not on my watch. And I mugged her off differently. And in the end, I got back my month's rent. Because I'm like, you're not going to mug me off. I'm paying you my rent every single month on time, and you're being a mug. You're mugging me off, and that can't run. There's so many things that we could do peacefully, but we're not even trying to do it. We're just all bark, no bite. Pure chatting. You can't force someone to, you can't physically drag them out of their office. They're not going to leave. We sit here and telling Speed that he must go or Ricketts must go. You think they're listening to us? No, you got to hit them where it hurts. You got to hit them where it hurts, and you will see who is leaving and who is staying. But until we get to that point, stop complaining. Until you move that needle, don't complain. Stop complaining because it's performative. You're acting. Stop acting. This ain't the space for that. You want to act, go to Hollywood or Nollywood. I don't even know what's the Caribbean version of that. I've forgotten it, but go link them. Don't do that here. Go link them. Love complacency, 100%. Fact says D Daily. DR Congo had handball goal was a difficult one. I think you're being disingenuous with the greatest of respect to yourself. I don't think it was a handball. I've seen handball. Thierry Henry is a perfect example of that. He's a legend. Love Thierry to bits. We've seen what a handball is. I don't think that was a handball, to be honest with you. Do I need to go back and watch it? Perhaps. Will I watch it? No, because the dust has settled. The dust has settled, and they deserve to be at the World Cup, and we don't, because we should have handled business against Trinidad and Tobago away from home, and subsequently we should have handled business against Curacao. So we don't deserve it, and if that's how we're going to qualify, I want no parts of it. I wish you all the best of luck, but I'm not coming with you. Crystal, I am a Man City fan. I want Arsenal to win the Prem because my nephew, one of the biggest supporters, since the Reggae Boys failure, just I see football. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. May your nephew's soul rest in peace. I am so sorry. God bless you. God bless your family. And I hope that your nephew is resting in peace. That is so sad. I'm so sorry, Richard. I'm really sorry to hear that. But exactly, this means more. And I'm sure had the Reggae Boys qualified for the World Cup, that would have given you the upliftment that you need in a time of sadness. But they can't do it. They can't do it. They can't do it. They don't have the cojones to do it. But like I said, I am so sorry for what you've gone through. Really sorry for what you've gone through. But yeah, guys, I tried my best not to get into a rant. I've been speaking with you guys for over an hour, and I tried my best to hold my tongue. I'm like, don't do it, don't say it. But I can't help myself, because the passion is real. Like, the passion is real. The passion is real. Like, it's just, we really have to look at ourselves as a community. We're a joke. We're a joke. We're a joke. We're such a joke. We are such a joke. Like, it's one thing looking at the Jamaica Football Federation, but just us as a community, where the 12th man is concerned, where new media is concerned, we don't want it bad enough. We're a bloody joke. We're a bloody joke, guys. We don't want it enough. So I don't really know what else to say. Tomorrow is match day for the Reggae Girlz, and I'm going to try and see if I can boost up my energy, because morale is at a high time low at the moment. It's so low. Like, my energy feels so low. It's so low, and I need to make sure I change that for tomorrow's show, so that I'm not feeling low, because I don't want that to negatively affect you guys. Okay, so as I said, it's a shame to see other countries making changes from the top to the bottom. I've already listed my countries. These nations have already kickstarted the ball for 2030, and we are here feeling sorry for ourselves. All bark, no bite. All bark, no bloody bite. We're a bloody joke. We don't deserve to qualify for a World Cup. the poetic justice about the jersey is JFF kicked out Sedella because of her success from now and reach, and every game they have to wear. Do you know what's funny? I see what you did there, and yeah, I can see how you put two and two together. Even if it doesn't hold water, I can see why you would think of that. It's funny, isn't it? It is so funny. And had they qualified, they would have had to wear that jersey at the World Cup. So yeah, that is funny, isn't it? It is very much hilarious. Not as hilarious as Congo beating the Bob Marley scoreline, but nevertheless, it's funny. I think I've spoken to you guys for long enough. This team has definitely pissed me off. New media, you lot have pissed me off as well. 12 man, you guys have pissed me off as well. The players, you lot definitely pissed me off. So I think I'm going to have to love you and leave you guys, unless you guys have any questions. DC, we already run the video for the Reggae Girlz squad announcement and also Busby's press conference. So if you want to talk about that, let me know before I close off on the show. Been almost speaking to you guys for 2 hours. It's been a while since I've stayed this long with you guys, but obviously I didn't do a show earlier on during the week, so it makes sense to speak with you guys, right? See. It's good to let out what you've been feeling. Catch a fire with maybe your words. So they don't have no cojones. I'm more of a man than them. They ain't got no bloody cojones. They're weak. They're weak. They don't want it bad enough. They don't want nothing. No fires being caught. Nothing I catch. I'm telling you. They don't care. It's all bark, no bite. When we first started doing this as a community, people cared in their numbers. No, they don't care. They're happy with their little brown envelope. They're getting this, they're getting that. They don't give a flying monkey's ass whether we qualify or not. They're good. They're Gucci. They're not bothered. They are not bothered. They're fine. They're not bothered. So I'm just bored of the same conversation over and over again. I'm bored of disingenuous behavior. Like, you don't really want to see Jamaica qualify, because if you want to see Jamaica qualify, you know exactly what to do to keep the ball rolling. Get that ball rolling. You know exactly what to do, but they're not going to be doing that. They're not on it. They're a bunch of jokers. They're not on it. So I think I'm going to have to love you and leave you. Unless you guys have something for me, then do go ahead and let me know in the comment section. Probably give you guys what? 2 more minutes. Got 2 more minutes if you guys want to. Feel bad that the boys have unfortunately overshadowed the Reggae Girlz. But as I said, tomorrow's show, we're gonna obviously only focus on the Reggae Girlz. We're not focusing on the Reggae Boys. Reggae Boys are bad vibes. I'm not trying to bring the bad vibes from the Reggae Boys. Reggae Girlz, they're not pitch perfect, but yeah, I'm not trying to bring that bad energy from the men's team to the women's team. We deal with the women's team on their own tomorrow, where it's just the women's team, nothing about the Reggae Boys, because they're just gonna piss me off. So we're not going to talk about it. And it's not all Reggae Boys. Let's remind ourselves, it's not all of the Reggae boys. And when we're talking about the Jamaica Football Federation, it's not all of them, because I kind of feel like it's unfair sometimes to say the Jamaica. You're better off just calling names, because some of the people working for the Jamaica Football Federation, they're fine. They dot their I's, they cross their T's. They're not all bad vibes. And even as people, Ricketts, I don't know him on a personal level, but as I said, seems like a good human, good person. Probably the same can be said for Mr. Speed as well. I don't know these guys on a personal level, but where the football is concerned, I've had enough. You're doing my head in. I've had enough. Crystal, do you believe using Marley legacy in the jersey was a I don't know. Was it a contingency plan? To generate sales to benefit financial. Don't know if that was a contingency plan. I don't know. Generate sales to benefit financially, whether the Probably. It was probably a backup plan, because obviously Bob Marley, he sells, doesn't he? Everybody loves Bob Marley all over the world, whether you Whether you're into football or not, once you see something with Bob Marley on it, you're going to buy it. So maybe it was. Maybe it was. Was that the Jamaica Football Federation's idea? Probably not. Probably not. Probably not. I don't know who came up with that idea, but maybe it was. Maybe it was just to say, look, if in case, sorry guys, I'm a little bit distracted. Yeah, maybe it was. If in case they don't qualify for the World Cup, they can say, hey, look, let's push the merch. So maybe, I don't know. I don't know really and truly. Let's see if I've got any more questions. So good. Let me see. I think they believe the Reggae Boys may not qualify. They have failed the campaign, so they launched the kit before the playoffs, knowing it was always a slim. Listen, you're probably bang on the money. I don't know. Don't see the JFF, no disrespect to them putting contingency plan together, but maybe that's just me looking at things negatively, but I don't really think that's their bread and butter based on what we have seen. If you're talking about forward planning, then definitely that's probably more of a Bob and Rita Marley initiative, probably their idea, backed by Sedella. No disrespect to the Jamaica Football Federation, but that's probably and also it's probably to do with what's part of the contractual agreement. Probably to do maybe something like that was already in the pipeline, or maybe because of the terms of the contract, they're able to do exactly that. But again, goes back to what we were saying, goes back to what we were saying. Goes back to, I'm confusing myself, goes back to what we were saying with regards to merchandise. That's the thing that they fall back on, selling the merchandise, because they've got to make a profit. They've got to make a profit somewhere or another, right? So, and that's what these guys care about, making a profit, making a small change or a big change here and there. When you put Bob Marley's name to the jersey, I should imagine that's not a small change, that's a big change, right? So, I don't know. Good question, but I honestly don't. Like I said, when it comes to contingency, I'm not putting that to the doorstep of the Jamaica Football Federation. No disrespect to them. No disrespect. I had a question about the process of JFF trying to host a 2031 World Cup. I didn't believe they had earned the right to host, given how badly they've treated the women. So what can I say to that? What can I say to that? No, but money is involved, so people are going to pretend like they care, aren't they? People are going to pretend as if they are all on board for women's football. So where money is involved, you're going to see people doing a lot of pretending. No, I don't think well, I know who you're referring to when it comes to they, definitely. But in terms of the players deserve it. I say the fans, the ones who sincerely support women's football, and subsequently the Reggae Girlz, we also deserve it. It would be great to see in our lifetime, God's willing, Jamaica co-host a FIFA Women's World Cup. That's massive. That's incredible. Boy. And then there's the bloody Reggae Boys being a bunch of disappointment. Good day, Queen. First time, but this Jamaica Football Federation speed, Conti 20 can continue. Conti, what's that an abbreviation for? I'm so lost. 2030 will never be their RCA. What's RCA an abbreviation of? Failures with 2 coaches, doomsday coming again. Are you saying that they can't continue to be the coach and the president respectively for 2030 cycle? Otherwise it's doomsday once again. And good day to yourself, Mr. Baker. Yeah, guys, I don't know. Failure is a must with this Reggae Boys team. I'm just learning to accept that failure is a must. Failure is a must with them. That's what it is, isn't it? We just have to just accept it is what it is. These guys are a bunch of failures and nothing's going to change. But hey, what I want, as I said, is a follow-up interview with Ryan and also the president. I want some explanation. I want some meat to the bone of what we've said. Hey, you said back in XYZ. I'm not sure the year of that interview, but Ryan's looking. Let me go and look at that. I don't think I can guess the year. Well, so he's wearing Umbro. So that might have been wearing Umbro. That might have been this interview. I think is potentially between maybe 3 to 5 years old. He's in Umbro. He's looking a bit more slimmer. Obviously, he's much bigger than he is now, muscle-wise, not fat. So that's probably maybe 3 to 5 years old, that particular interview. Definitely ahead of the current, what was then the World Cup cycle trying to qualify him. Let's see what Rochelle is saying. I saw that there will be no bleachers at the games tomorrow. Rochelle, my friend, I don't know what that's all about. Why is that, by the way? Why is that? I can sit here and talk my talk because I already paid my dues where the Reggae Girlz is concerned. So I can sit here and talk my talk. Yeah, why is that? Why is there not? Isn't bleachers tickets more affordable? Right? Bleachers tickets is supposed to be more affordable. I did think it was quite cute and clever from the Jamaica Football Federation. When I went to purchase tickets, I saw that they've got the most expensive tickets available, right? And I thought, interesting. They're not giving you the option of saying, this is what I want. Now, to be honest with you, I was always going to make that particular purchase anyways. Just because I think my subscriber deserves that. So that was going to be the purchase, but at least give people the option to pick what tickets they want to pick. Don't ram it down our throats. Let people pick the tickets that they want to pick. But again, it's a money game, isn't it? It's a money game. So yeah, good observation. I'm not sure if maybe, I don't know, if you go into Fantana, can't you just buy a ticket in Fantana? Maybe there's some bleachers tickets there. I don't understand. If they're not selling bleachers tickets, I'm not really sure why that is. I can only assume. I can only assume why they're not selling bleachers ticket, my friend. Can only I can only assume. Maybe DC has to tidy that one up for us. Maybe DC is the smarter of the two of us. Maybe she can tidy that one up for us. Maybe she knows the reason. These people holding the football and country at ransom, and they are now saying no more foreign coaches. That would be that's what they. It's so funny. The president, you're a hypocrite. You're the greatest of respect to yourself, but you're a bloody hypocrite. To all the Jamaicans out there, the so-called Jamaicans that say no to foreign products, to foreign players, you're a bloody hypocrite. You're neither one of you are real Jamaicans, because unless I am living under a bloody rock and Andrew Holness has made a change to the national motto, as long as I've been growing up, for as long as I've been growing, since I came into this world, the national motto has been out of many one people. So if you are saying you only want Jamaican-born coaches, Jamaican-born players to represent the national team, you're not a real Jamaican. You're not. You're fake. You're a fraud. You're a Jamaican. You are not real. You are not real. You are not real. You're not real because you're going against our national motto, out of many one people. You're not real. You are not real. You're full of crap. You're not real. And these are the people there in traditional media running their own little silly agendas. You lot are pathetic. You're not real. You're not real at all. You're not real. I don't really care how you all feel about this. Look at the Reggae Girlz. Where the hell would we be without diaspora players? Look at Curacao. Haiti, they haven't played a home game on home soil in Lord knows how long. They've had to rely on the overseas market. They have qualified for the World Cup. So many other nations have had to tap into their diaspora community to qualify for major tournaments. But Jamaica thinks they're too good to be true for diaspora-born players. Oh, please. Oh, please. Oh, please. Oh, please. Let's remind ourselves that when we're talking about indiscipline, The very same indiscipline that Rudo Speed is trying to usher out is to do with the Jamaican-born players. I've never ever heard about, and I'm not saying overseas players aren't indisciplined. I'm just saying the argument is there that it holds water, that they are more professional than Jamaican-born players. So if you feel some type of way about that, kick rocks. There's no way you can look at me and try to convince me that that players born in the overseas shouldn't represent the national team. You don't have no respect for the national motto, and that goes for the president as well. You ain't got no respect for the national motto. Y'all don't respect the national motto. You don't respect the national motto. You don't respect yourself. It says out of many one people. You don't respect yourselves. Wow, no bleachers. What kind of madness is that? Is it madness or does it make sense? They gotta squeeze some money somewhere. The Reggae Boys are a bloody disappointment. They gotta milk the cow dry. We are the cows that they're milking dry. We are the cows that they're milking dry. They gotta milk that cow somewhere, right? Somewhere, somehow. Because as I said, when I went to purchase these tickets, I was like, hold on a second here. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me what I should purchase. Let me, as I said, I was gonna make that bloody purchase anyways, but don't tell me what to purchase. Let me purchase what I want to purchase. And there are some people there that can't afford the tickets there that's being rammed down our throats. Let them have the decision to say, okay, I wanna, you know what? That's a very good shout. That's a very good observation there. I thought I was bugging out, Rochelle, but that's an excellent observation. It's an excellent observation. As I said, I don't know why that is, but that's an excellent observation. Because what about the people there who can't afford to pay for the grandstand? Because when I was making the purchase, they only had grandstand tickets available. And when I'm talking grandstand, they had the more expensive grandstand tickets, right? They had them. So the grandstand tickets that they had available was 5,000 Jamaican dollars. That's what they had available. So what about the people there who perhaps earlier on in the week wanted to make purchase to the game? If they're looking at that and they're from a low income family, you're basically pricing them out, you cheeky bastards. You're pricing them out. It's very cheeky of you. You can't sell women's game in the same way that you sell the men's game. If you want to pack out that stadium, you got to be reasonable with your prices. It's women's football. There's a reason why in this country, I don't know about overseas, like in the States and so on, but in this country, women's football is affordable. It has to be affordable. The tickets are pretty much dirt cheap for a reason. They want to sell out the stadiums. You greedy bastards are not doing this the right way. You're just thinking of your gut. You're thinking of your belly. Don't know how to sell women's football. You can't market women's football and sell women's football the same way that you sell men's football. Be real. The people will never get justice when a country is run by criminals, says Dalton Baker. On Instagram? Okay, I got to log into Instagram on my desktop. Hold on. Let me check you sent me something on Instagram. Cheeky bastards. So they've only got grandstand wings and they're only thank you. Thank you for that. You lot are some cheeky bastards, you know. You lot are cheeky. You lot are so cheeky. Yeah, I thought I was bugging out. I was like, maybe I'm bugging out. I was like, maybe I'm bugging out. Maybe I am bugging out. But yeah, I can see here that you guys are you're only selling grandstand tickets, yeah? So where's the bleachers? Where are the bleachers tickets? Where are all the tickets there for the low income family that can't afford grandstand tickets? See here that it's a good shout there, Rochelle. Thank you for that. As I said, I thought I was bugging out when I saw this. When I went to make the ticket purchase, I thought I was bugging out. So it says here grandstand wings for 2,000. These cheeky bastards were only promoting. So quick, what's the bloody website called? Quapid or Quapid, whatever it's pronounced. So they only were showing the grandstand general ticket for 5,000, as I said. And now I believe they're showing both. But initially, you lot are toying with women's football. You don't do that. You don't do that. You don't do that. You let the fans choose what tickets they want to purchase, unless there's a reason why there's no bleachers tickets available. Or in fact, if that's the case, make one of those prices a bleacher price then. Make one of those prices a bleacher price. Have some tickets there that's available for students. Like, let it be available for students. Do some bundles. Do some family bundles. You're not bloody serious, are you? You lot are not serious at all. You're not serious at all. But as I said, if you're going to the game, do hope that you guys arrive safe and unharmed. And I hope that you make it home safe and unharmed as well, because, you know, doing so is an underrated blessing. I think talking about the Reggae Girlz has calmed me down just a little bit. Just a little bit, not a lot, just a little bit. So I think I'm gonna love you and leave you guys. I think I've chatted enough. Unless you guys have questions that you want to throw at me, please do go ahead and throw them at me in the comment section before I close off. And when you see the YouTubers rolling out in their numbers, tell them to pattern up. You need to tell them to pattern up. They're being disingenuous. They're being disingenuous. Tell them to pattern up. You don't really want change. It's all bark, no bite, in my opinion. I'm gonna love you and leave you now, guys, because I've been chatting with you guys for over 2 hours, and yeah, I'm going to have to love you and leave you. Yeah, I'm hoping to see you guys here tomorrow. We can do a live watch along. The mood's gonna be better. I promise you, tomorrow the mood's going to be so much better. All right, we're gonna do a live watch along tomorrow. Rochelle, Miss Brown, enjoy the game tomorrow. Rochelle's going to the game tomorrow, guys. So enjoy the game. Hope that you have fun for both of us. I hope that you arrive at your destination to and from safe and unharmed. And yeah, let me know how you get on. Also, message me when you reach back home. I want to know that you've made it home safe and unharmed. So send me a message when you reach home. Let JFF and their friends fill the stadium. Sorry, Reggae Girlz, but not until the failure step aside. I will not support. We need to stand up against these selfish people. Yeah, we do need to stand up. Hey, listen, sometimes what they say, the good suffer for the bad. Sometimes the goods have to suffer for the bad in this world. Mr. Scott, yes, I'm gonna have to love you and leave you, my friends. We're coming to an end of the show. I've been talking for over an hour. So I'm going to close off. And as you know, tomorrow is match day. Reggae Girlz taking on Antigua and Barbuda. So we're gonna be talking about them tomorrow. Only the Reggae Girlz tomorrow. Not talking about the men's team because they're just going to piss me off. So I'm not talking about them tomorrow. All right. So guys, I'm gonna love you and leave you. Hopefully you will be joining me tomorrow. Chop it all up, talk about the Reggae Girlz, talk about the game, talk about DC's favorite coach. I know how much she loves Busby. That is her favorite coach. We're gonna be chopping it up, talking about Busby tomorrow, as well as the girls. And yeah, it's not gonna be no hopefully. We will be winning tomorrow, probably by some distance as well. But yeah, guys, I am going to have to love you and leave you. If you've not hit the like button, what are you waiting on? Please hit the like button. It does not cost you a penny. If you're new to the channel, please do go ahead and hit that subscribe button. All right, it's been a pleasure. I didn't plan on speaking with you guys for as long as I have. I thought this would be a 30-minute show, but I haven't chatted with you guys in some time, so I figured let's just spend a while speaking with you guys, and it was definitely worth it, although I was pissed off for certain things of the show. Nevertheless, thank you for blessing with a moment of your time. On your way out, if you've not hit the like button, please do go ahead and hit the like button. If you haven't hit that subscribe button already, please do go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And as you know, as it goes, until next time, take care. We built this out of love, out of pride, shining a light from the island to the diaspora, to the world. A golden beacon of sports, music, and everything in between. The very best of Jamaica.
little, but we turn up.